Today, we're going to start with the 4 steps to build your personal brand with purpose and strategy. My focus is, as I said, to help you understand why mindset is so important, but mindset goes linked with purpose, okay? So let's begin. So first, I want to share who is this training for. My focus is to help creative entrepreneurs stand out, build their personal brand with clarity and purpose, eliminate the limiting beliefs of why sharing their story is not important. That's one of the things I most see in creative entrepreneurs and coaches as well, because they're inside creative entrepreneurs. They believe that their story is not important to share. And I'm going to tell you this is one of the most important things because it connects you and it helps people relate to you and understand why connecting with you, why training with you, why asking a question is important, because they understand your experiences, your values, and that helps your brand and your business to stand out, which at the end is what we want, right? We want to have more clients, to have more leads. That's what we want at the end of the day, besides being seen, understood, and and compromised. So my promise to you here is that I will deliver as much value as I can in this 20 minutes. I'll be on time as I can, and I'll help you understand why mindset, branding, strategy is important to build your brand and your business. So today we'll learn how to go deeper into your purpose and why it's important to have a set purpose to build your brand, and why if you don't have it, it will hurt your business and your brand in the long run. So first I want to introduce myself. You already know, I already talked about this. I won't talk it over again.
My grandma's calling me, but I can't answer.
Today, I want to share that I'm passionate about helping creative entrepreneurs build up their mindset and brand with purpose and strategy, as I said. So let's first begin with what are the top 3 mistakes that I see most creative entrepreneurs and coaches, and why it makes them feel stuck and overwhelmed with their personal brand, okay? So the first mistake that I see most common is that they believe they need to have everything perfect in order to start. What does this mean? You're insecure of your content, you don't believe in your brand or understand who you want to help, and you feel the need that if you're not ready, if you don't have everything perfect, you can't move forward, and that stops you, and that makes you feel overwhelmed. It's one of the main mistakes I see every time we start, and I see them on Instagram and with my clients at the beginning. So what happens if you continue making this mistake? You will stop making content because you're feeling overwhelmed. Your fear of being judged will be bigger than the execution. And you will continually work against yourself because you're like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't believe in myself. And you keep doing this mistake over and over again. So what happens when you stop making these mistakes? You start believing that you are possible of sharing your story, that you believe that you don't need to be perfect in order to start. You will start developing your why, and you will not be creating content from a fear-based place, which that's what's happened when you don't believe in yourself and believe that everything needs to be perfect in order to start. Mistake number 2 is the ones that I most see, is the fear of thinking you have nothing to share. This goes connected with your story, that you believe that your story, your experiences are not good enough to share, that you believe that your work that you do, that you are developing is not worthy. And that you believe that because you are not worthy and because your story is not important, you believe that you cannot help people through a transformation. That's incorrect, because everyone has a unique story to share. Everyone has something to offer. You just need to go deep into what is your purpose, what is your why, to stop feeling frustrated and stuck with your personal brand. Now, when you stop doing this, as I said, you take advantage of sharing your story. You take advantage of saying, if I'm vulnerable, if I connect, I'll become relatable. And that's so true, because what people want is that they want a human connection. They don't want to just feel that, okay, it's a post and that's it. They want the story behind it. They want to connect with someone that really understands them, hears them out, and honestly seeing them as another person that wants to go into a transformation. And the mistake number 3 that I see most common in creative entrepreneurs and coaches is they're afraid of opening up and starting their personal brand. Why? Because maybe you have applied different strategies in the past and they haven't worked for you. And you say, well, it's because I really don't have anything to share. That's true. The thing is that you are limiting yourself. You have that one limiting belief that is stopping you from moving forward. And you keep repeating it again and again, and that keeps you stuck in the same place. And also you think because you believe people are going to judge your story, but if they judge you, it's because they have something in their head. And at the end, you cannot pay attention to what other people are saying about you. You need to put yourself out there, share your story, and connect, because that's the only way you're going to build up your brand and your business, because that's what we all want, right? And all that makes you feel overwhelmed because you are always thinking you can't do it. So what happens if you continue making this mistake and you don't take over and say, you know what, I need to invest in myself, I need to focus on what I need to do? You will be close to those two new strategies that will help you move forward. You will keep repeating the same mistakes, and you will not have a clear perspective of your content because you continually say to yourself, I can't do this. I can't move forward because everything needs to be perfect. Everything needs to be in order. And we don't want that. We want you to move forward and to take action. So when you start making these mistakes, you open to new strategies, you start connecting with people, and the audience, your customers will start to understand that why are you the ideal person to help them, okay? So now let's go over that. I already explained what are the top mistakes that I see most common. And now I want to tell you about the 4 steps that will help you to build your personal brand with purpose and strategy. And these 4 steps are, if you're feeling stuck with your personal brand, if you're feeling stuck with your mindset and are not clear of how to execute, these 4 steps will definitely help you. Okay, let's begin with step number 1, mindset. One of the things that I most love, and I believe everyone should focus on growing their mindset, is the first question you need to ask yourself is understand who you are and what are your branding and business goals. What is it? By understanding who you are, you will understand, okay, I want my brand to be right here. I want my business to be right there. Second thing is understand what is that one limiting belief that you feel is stopping you from moving forward. We can say to ourselves, yes, I have different things that stop me, but it all comes down to one core thing that you believe about yourself that is not allowing you to move forward. And ask yourself, what is it you want to share through your journey? What is that one thing that you know you can share with your community, with your audience, and you can help your customers? What is that one thing? It all comes down to understanding who you are. Because if you don't do this work, you will always feel like in a loop, trying to understand yourself, trying to develop your brand, trying to create a strategy, but you're always there because you haven't done the first work, that is understanding who you are. Okay, now let's go to step why is it important? As I said, because if you understand yourself, it will be better to execute. You can understand what is the process of telling your story because you are understanding yourself, and your mindset needs to be in the right place to move forward. Okay, now let's go to step number 2, purpose. Purpose can be just a very broad thing, but I want you to focus on the purpose is the why of your brand. This means getting to know yourself and how can your story help others, which allows you to create content with intention and direction, not posting for posting, not sharing a YouTube video just because you need to be consistent. You are focusing on how that video, that content, that reel can have a specific transformation for your audience because you're asking yourself, what is the why of your brand? What is the why of your business? What is the why that you understand and you know you can help others through? Okay, so why most people won't work on this? So why most people won't? Because it's not easy. It's not easy to do the work, to internal work of understanding yourself, understanding your purpose, so you can truly understand how to execute. It's not easy. If it would, everyone would have a beautiful and successful business brand, a personal brand like this. Also, some people think that because they need to be in hustle mode to make everything happen, and that's not true. You need to understand who you are. You need to go that deep work, because the hustle mode won't execute anything, won't help you in anything, because you're going to be just an automatic. And also because you need to understand why it's important to invest in yourself and invest in yourself wisely. Investigate, understand what is it you need to have that transformation. Now, step number 3, you can understand your purpose, but what we need right now is clarity and strategy. What goes down and how can you help your audience win? That's what we want, because we want to help them win so they can become leads, and from leads they go to clients, right? So it means going deep into understanding what is it your customer aspire to feel about themselves. Then it helps you build a more structured brand because you're focusing on that one key element, that one problem that you want to solve, so they can feel transformed. They can feel you're moving forward, but you need to understand that first. Remember, there's a problem your audience has, and they're looking for someone to help them with that solution. Identify what is that problem so you can execute the solution. And that comes from you, because 3 years ago, you had the same problem and you understood it, and you understood how to move forward. My case, for example, was a video producer for a very long time, 13 years. And I understood that I was always behind the scenes, helping other people, helping them execute their brand, build it up, creating a video, content, all that. But I understood that the way people connect with me so I can help them edit their video or help them move forward with their brand was by showing up, by sharing my story, by being vulnerable through what I have been through to be where I am today. Because your story, your purpose, and your mindset are key to execute. Now, why is this important? As I said, because it helps you to have a clear direction, to have a clear conversion system, because it goes from sharing your story to really being and understanding what is your brand and how can you help them transform. Okay, now, transformation. One of the things that is the most important thing after we've been through this purpose journey. The transformation is what your customer wants to feel after they've gone through understanding who you are and what is your story. This is much more than having a strategy. It's truly understanding the transformation behind your brand. So think, what is the transformation you're going to offer? And that comes from understanding who you are, what is the problem, and a solution is the transformation. Remember, great creators and brands obsess about how can they help your audience? How can they help their audience go from point A to point B? So focus on that. How can you help them through that trajectory? And at the end, personal branding, or to be honest, is much more than selling your product. It's focusing on how can you help your audience win. Focus on that. Don't obsess on like, I need to sell this product so I can do this and this, and I can save this much money, and then can I invest in something else? No, that is important. Of course it is. But please focus on how can you help your audience, your prospective clients go through that transformation. So because they want to feel it, they want to embrace it, and they want to know that you are that ideal person. To continue, as I said, what happens when you start doing this, you start seeing that every piece of content you deliver, it can be from a podcast, from being a Clubhouse, from a reel, from YouTube, it will have an intention behind it, because you're focusing on how can you help your customers and your audience have a transformation. And your followers will start connecting with you, not because, hey, I like your post. It's because, hey, I like your post. Tell me more about this. That's what we want. We want that. Tell me more about this, okay? And you won't feel that the consistent you are, it won't feel like you're wasting your time. You will feel like you're investing your time for a conversion, okay? Because you're helping people, right? So why are these 4 steps essential? So let's continue. When you decide to create content with purpose, you will have more clarity of what you want, of who you are and what you want to do. You will start seeing which areas you need to improve at, which is so important, because you will start seeing your brand is like, okay, I need to improve on this, on this, on this. And that is what purpose brings you and offers you. And as I said, you will be more productive and efficient when you create your content. You won't feel it's a waste of time. You will feel you're investing your time wisely, because your content is converting. Okay, your content is not just there to look pretty, it's there to create a system of conversion. Now, purpose without clarity creates confusion. This is something I always want to express and explain to my customers and to my clients and my students is, if you believe you understand your why, but still you're confused about it, is something we need to talk it over. Because some people say, yes, I understand my purpose. Great. Does your audience understand it? That's something you need to really focus, and you can investigate it, analyze it, ask questions to feel and to understand if they are understanding your main purpose. You have been creating content for a while and you have no leads, you have been having nothing like real from your DMs, from your content, it means that your purpose is still not clear. And if you have been building up your personal brand for a while, but still feel you're in the same place, there's something you need to work on. It means that your mindset is not there. You don't understand who you are. You still don't understand what's that main problem that you solve. and you're trying to just post and figure it out, going with the flow. At the end, that will feel so overwhelming and frustrating, and you will feel so tired. And you will say, like, why do I need to build my personal brand if I don't see any changes, right? So now that's why I focus on the MBS, which I explained in the beginning, and Raylan explained as well, is the mindset, branding, and strategy, because everything starts with you, with understanding who you are. And as I said, mindset, branding, and strategy is the way you create this beautiful connection between who you are, what is your purpose, and how can you deliver a strategy that actually converts. So nothing that I shared today are theories or ideas. It's something I implemented since I was a video producer, since I knew where I was and what I wanted to do. And I have been building the system to help creative entrepreneurs and coaches elevate, stand out, and believe in themselves and believe on what they are sharing. So thank you so much. I feel that we're on time. And I have some questions that I want to give to you. And if you have any questions for me as well, but this is our exercise time, okay, that I want to offer you. So write down these questions or just a screenshot, however it is better for you. What is that one problem you know you can solve? Think about it. Write it down. Think of all the ups and downs you have gone through to understand why you can solve this specific problem. Think about it. Take your time, digest it, don't rush it. Who are you and how can you help others through this problem? Think about it. So these are questions, are deep questions. So think about it, read it, don't rush it, just go through it. And please do it. We have some time, right? So they can go
let's go back to that screen, Karina, and then let's give everybody. So this is the part where I was talking about everybody. If you have 10 minutes to answer these 3 questions, and then when we come back, we can one by one go through for obviously, although assuming we have time, everyone that goes through these questions, Karina will then give feedback on, and we'll kind of pick it apart. So that way you can leave the event with these 3 questions answered. Everyone, does that make sense to everybody? Can I get, let me see everyone's faces. Can I get some thumbs up? Yes, we know what we're doing. We know what we're doing. Cool. Anthony, cool hat.
Of course. So first of all, I want let's raise your hand so we can go step by step. And also, how do you feel about answering these questions? What do you learn about yourself? I would like to know that. And these questions are not easy and that are meant this way because I want you to think about who you are and how can you help your audience in their transformation that we spoke about in this masterclass. So I see one hand raised already, and let me stop sharing so I can have a better view. Okay, so let's go first with Bruce. Hi, Bruce. How are you?
Howdy, Bruce Hill, New Skills, New You. Good morning, everybody. What's up, Brandon? So let's see. Oh, my guy, Micah. What's up, boss? Shout out to Chicago.
What's up? I had just texted you. I didn't know you knew Raylan. Crazy, small world.
Raylan's the man. What you mean? So, all right. Question number 1, Karina.
Okay, Bruce. Tell me, how do you feel about these questions?
Oh, how I
First
feel?
of all.
I'm a little concerned I don't have a clear, concise answer.
Okay. Nothing. Okay, so tell me. Let's continue a little bit more. What was the first question for you? How did you feel the first question?
How do I feel? Well, that sounds like therapy. I just answered the question. How did I feel about it? I don't have an answer for that.
Okay, so do you feel a little bit stuck, overwhelmed? You think that you understand it, but you don't know how to express it? Is it that way?
No, I help people hear yes more often without sounding like a salesperson. So
okay,
that first one pretty cut and dry for me.
Okay, so what do you do? Tell me a little bit more about you.
I teach sales skills to entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
My primary focus is teaching them to ask better questions.
Exactly. And to ask better questions, we need to understand them, correct? We need to understand ourselves to understand them. Why? Because remember, you are helping these entrepreneurs because you had this before. 4 or 5 years ago, you were going through this and you're like, I want to make more sales, but I don't know how to execute it, right? Correct. And this is why you find this purpose, because you said, if I know I can solve this for entrepreneurs, I know, and because I went through this, I know I can help others in that way, right? So let's say that your purpose is to help creative, I don't know what type of entrepreneurs in general, or?
Usually new and aspiring entrepreneurs, less than 5 years.
Okay, so aspiring entrepreneurs understand how to do sales by asking better questions.
You got it.
Okay, why? What is the reason behind it? What is that because?
Because that's how we can transform their lives and grow their business. You don't have to be, a sales professional. You don't have to be an extrovert. We can teach them to ask questions that encourages them to listen, that helps them solve problems, and that makes their clients happier. That makes their business more successful.
Exactly. So that because is to make your business more successful,
Yeah.
because you are asking the right questions. And tell me a little bit about why you got into this, into helping aspiring entrepreneurs in sales. What was that purpose? What was it like? What you went through? What is a little bit of your story?
Oh, it was completely by accident. Somebody called me up and they said, "Hey, Bruce, I've got to give this proposal. I don't know how much money to ask for." And so I said, "Well, how much were you thinking?" And they told me, and I was like, "Well, double it." And you see like their eyes get big, right? They have this anxiety. And I said, listen. They're either going to tell you yes, and you're going to be super happy, or they're going to tell you no. And I promise you're not going to die. And so they went and they asked, and they got it. And they're like, "Oh my goodness, I would have got half of that if I hadn't taken your advice." I'm like, "Oh, you're welcome." And so then they cash at me. And I was like, "Oh, snap, I might be onto something here." So then I started New Skills, New You.
You see, so that is your story. That is your why. That's why you started. And this is something that connects with aspiring entrepreneurs, because they said, "Hey, I'm just teaching you this. And if something happens, if the sales happens, great. If it doesn't, you're not going to die. You're just going to help you. It's going to help you. It's going to train you." So Bruce, that story is what we want to hear. That story is going to help you convert your audience, whatever they are. Instagram, wherever you focus. It's YouTube, it's Instagram, it's Clubhouse. I don't know where's your main platform, but that story is going to help you make more relatable, because it's something that happens to all of us. We just don't know how to ask the right questions. We just don't know how to execute. We just have a lot of things going on, and we want to be more clear. But if you have that step by step, you're going to help those aspiring entrepreneurs feel better about themselves, because you're connecting through a true story. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much, Bruce. Let me give opportunity to Adam. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So first, I want to ask the same question that I asked Bruce. How do you feel about these questions? What was in your head?
I like them. I found them focused and directive, which I like. I prefer simplicity over complicated. So I felt like they were really clear. It wasn't that difficult for me, because I've really connected into what I love and what I do. So I don't know.
So what is that you love? What is it you love to do? Who do you help? Tell me a little bit about it.
I love helping people. What I've recently come to focus on is identifying them as people pleasers. So I help people pleasers celebrate rather than judge themselves. Okay. I help them redirect energy in productive ways without punishing themselves or restricting how much they care about others. Because a lot of people out there that are people pleasers are taught to care less, to engage with you just have to do less. I think you just have to find more of the best people for you. That's really what works better, is rather than attacking your identity, it is technically a trauma response, but it can be a really positive trauma response. And so that's what I really do with people, is I help them redirect that energy. It's one of the ways that I identify helping people with trauma, in a way that's a little bit softer than just saying, "Hey, I can help you deal with the fact that you've been traumatized."
Understood. And that's an important mission. So I want you to simplify it and think about it this way. You helped blank through this problem. You identify the problem to solve this, to have that transformation. That way is one-liner, and you focus on how you can help these people that want to please everyone. They want to make everyone happy. how to have a system that will actually help them feel better about themselves and actually execute and stop overthinking so much. What people want, Adam, is that they want, like you said, I like simplicity, you said it. People want simple answers to a problem that they're facing right now. They don't want to feel more overwhelmed. They don't want to go to you and say, oh my God, I feel more overwhelmed because I don't know if this is simple for me to execute and stop feeling this way. So think always how to make it as simple as possible for people to say, I want to work with you, Adam, because I want to feel this transformation. So I want you to focus. What is the problem that you solve? What is the solution that they're going to feel once they solve it? What is the transformation they're going to face, that process? That way you're going to see it very clear. You're going to say, yes, I help people pleasers to stop overthinking so they can feel better about themselves and connect. It's just an idea that we're focusing right now, but simplify the most you can. And that way, when you build an offer, when you share a program, when you have a digital product, whatever it is that you're building, it will be so simple because you know that problem, because you have your own story as well, right? So you came to this because of your story. How was it? Tell me a little bit about that. Adam? I think it froze a little bit. Let's see if he comes back. And while he comes back, and then we'll continue. Let me go to the next hand raised. Okay.
Karina, real quick, one thing I wanted to say, and I don't know if Adam can hear me, but make sure when we say blanket statements like people pleasers, one thing to consider is that you don't have to do this in your one-liner, but you do need to address somewhere, how can you identify that person as a people pleaser? So let's take it, because mindset's really hard to sell, because that person has to identify as a people pleaser. And who wants to admit that? Right?
I think a lot of people actually admit it. I know a lot of people in the space that clearly identify themselves as people pleasers.
Yes.
And
however,
it's something real, yeah.
So one of the things, gotta keep this in mind, right? So here at Elevated, how many clients are you currently working with right now, Adam?
Not as many as I would like. Probably maybe two or three.
Adam, stop there. You see my point here? You go, no. People love addressing that, but we don't have as many clients as we want. So first thing is this. Most people, yes, there's a lot of individuals that were willing to say, I'm a people pleaser. The question we have to ask is the person that's willing to admit I'm a people pleaser going to take action? Or perhaps, what if you can help someone discover that, oh my God, the reason why I'm having so many issues in my life is because I was a people pleaser. I had no freaking clue. I didn't know that. Adam helped me see that was my problem. Okay. I didn't know about this. Adam, can you teach me? Can you teach me what are the signs? Okay. So what the cool thing about this is, what Karina just helped us discover is, okay, people pleaser. Now we have content that can go, how to know you're a people pleaser. What are the signs? And then you're like, it's kind of like you go to WebMD and you're looking up like, oh man, I have a sneeze. And you find out you have cancer. And you're like, wait, what? It's kind of like that. And then you're researching more and more and more. That's kind of what we're doing. We're going to say, hey, here are the key signs you're people. Oh, you're always putting other people before you. And by the way, that's probably why you're not successful in business too, by the way. Right? Because you say, hey, my prices are $1,600. And then the person goes, well, actually, can you do the whole thing for $1? And you go, okay, I can do that. Right?
Yeah, it's true.
Or you're Micah and you give everything away for free and you never ask people for money. That's another option.
That's why it's so important, Adam, to when you identify what you can do
Karina,
and how you
hold
can
on a second. I am so sorry. I swear to God, I'm gonna shut up after this.
Okay.
Is that Michael Addit? Oh my God, Michael Addit is here at the ESA event. Oh my, you guys, if you guys don't know who Michael Addit is, he's one of the greatest, probably one of the greatest minds on Instagram. I'm willing to say that right now. All right, I'm gonna shut up. Back to you, Karina.
So Adam, yes, as Raylan was saying, it's so important to identify how can you solve it, but also through content pillars is the most important thing, because you have your main problem that you can solve. And by really giving those tips, those mistakes that people do that make them feel that they need to be people pleasers, those myths about people pleasing, that will help you to give you clarity. So organize it through pillars. So what are the mistakes? What are the tips that I can offer? What is some social proof that I can offer as well? So people understand how can I help them? And what are those myths that people believe about people that please others and how it slows them down or how it doesn't? What I love what you said is that they are like in a constant battle with their own identity. And that's so important to share. Share it. I would like to know more about that so I can know how can I work with you. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So let's go for this. The next one, I think it's Micah B. How are you?
Doing good. How are you doing this morning?
Great, great. Thank you so much for being here. So I want to ask the first question again. It's like, how was this questions for you? Did it give you clarity?
Somewhat, yeah.
Okay. Which one you felt it was the most difficult to answer?
I think it might have been number 3. Not so, I don't know. Maybe I was thinking too deep on what you guys wanted with this question. The whole "who are you?" Like, were we talking about like who are you at like the core level? Like, what did you exactly mean by that?
So when I say ask who are you, is what are your values? What are your experiences? What are your failures? What have you been through? Because the most of the people, when we ask this question, hey, who are you? They immediately say, oh, well, I'm a graphic designer or photographer. No, that is what you do. Who are you? Right? Because once you understand who are you, it will be more simple to understand how can you execute and deliver what you want through your brand. So what is that you do? What is your focus?
What does that do? What do? I am a content creator and I teach business owners. I try to I help them get over the overwhelm when it comes to content creation for their businesses. The overwhelm of, and not just the overwhelm of that, but just like doing the things like getting on camera, doing the things like putting themselves out there, being more transparent, more vulnerable. The reason why is because I have a clothing line and it's done pretty well. But prior to the pandemic, I had to do a really, a huge shift with the clothing line. And during the pandemic, I had to do a shift because the way that Instagram was shifting and just things in general, just posting the clothes, even just posting the clothes with like models wasn't enough anymore. And I had to focus more on storytelling, and getting on camera was one of the things that I had to do. But I was kind of not afraid to get on camera, but I was in the military, had PTSD. I was in the military, had a TBI. I had a what's it called? TBI due to the military. When I was over in Iraq, our convoy had gotten hit. So sometimes like my words get scrambled or whatnot, and then sometimes I have a tick or whatever. So like I didn't want to get on camera for the longest time because I was like, oh well, people might notice this, that, and the other. And it was really affecting the way I did business because obviously people connect with people before they connect with the problem. So now I try to just help business owners, especially when it comes to like their video content, just get over that overwhelm. Because one thing that I've noticed is nobody really notices the stuff that we think that they notice. Nobody notices that we, gain weight over the pandemic. Nobody notices that we might have a pimple. Nobody notices if, you might have a stutter. So it's those type of things that I really work on helping my clients with.
No, that's wonderful because as you said, nobody notices that. And it's true because it's your overthinking mind trying to say, oh, okay, I got to have this perfect so it looks good. But at the end of the day, you're just trying to do the same thing over and over again. Just put it out there. And if you're helping creative entrepreneurs, business owners through content creation, that's powerful because content creation are different things that you need to learn to deliver your message. And the more you help them, because you're helping them through your story, because this is real. You wanted to show up on camera, but you felt that you were not ready. So, but you understand the value of content creation. You understand the conversion of it. So always when you think about this is think of the benefits of solving the problem that you are currently solving. Because that is content creation right now. You need to really understand that step by step. You really need to understand how not only to create content, but how to help your clients feel a transformation. And that can be through sales, through building up their brand, to feeling better about themselves, to stop overthinking. Because at the end of the day, what we want is that this content that we're sharing and we're creating converts. So that's why it's so important to identify the problem, understand how is that solution going to help them, and what is the end result? What is the process of all of this at the end? Because you have your own story, Micah, and you have your own experiences, your own failures. That's why understanding who you are is going to help you stand out. Because let's be honest, there's many content creators out there, many video producers, but there's only one of you. Only one of you that has your own story, and people are going to connect with you because relate to you, to your story. Okay. Thank you for asking. And I have to continue because I don't know how are we with time? So how many more questions, Raylan?
How much time?
Like 20 minutes.
So we still have 20 minutes, so we're good.
Okay, perfect. So let's
What I'll
continue.
do is I'll write on a piece of paper when we're at like 10
Great.
minutes.
Thank you. Stephanie, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thank you. Thank you. So I want to start again with first, how do you feel about these questions, and which one was for you the hardest to answer?
I honestly felt excited to answer the questions. But the first one, what's
Okay,
the
the
one
first one.
problem you can solve, was the hardest for me to answer.
Okay. So why do you feel it's the hardest for you to answer? Because you're figuring it out, your brand, because you feel you do a lot of things at the same time? What is it?
It's that I feel like the problem that I can solve, a lot of people don't know that they have the problem. So it's
Okay, what
getting
is
them
it?
to the point of realizing that they have the problem.
What is it? Can you explain a little bit better?
So I can solve the problem of women, specifically Christian women, not knowing how to advocate for their mental health, because walking in their God-given power will increase their overall quality of life and free them from the shame that's tied to struggling with their mental health.
Okay, so let's start with this. So you help with Christian women, okay, understand the power of who they are, correct?
Correct. The power of who they are and how they need to advocate for their mental health.
Okay, perfect. So basically the problem that you are solving right now is you're sharing it with us because you want to help this woman understand that their story, their journey is important, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you came to this realization? Tell me a little bit about you.
So this realization came because 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder after a suicide attempt, and it forced me to face the up and downs of growing up being the quiet one who didn't know how to wield the power that I had within the professional relationships that I had to engage in getting treatment for my mental illness. And during all that time, I wasn't a Christian or anything like that. I became a Christian 7 years ago, and I noticed the need within the church because it's not something that's ever talked about.
Mm-hmm. You see, you said several things that are key. Something that is never talked about, something that you understand as you understand your story, you go through it. And then the last thing that you said is that you came to the realization because of your own experiences. So that's powerful there, because how can you solve it? It's because you went through this a few years ago. That's how you know you can solve it, because you're confident in that when you care about your mental health and understand how powerful you are, the better you're going to execute day by day. So the problem you can solve comes from you because you have lived that story, and you don't want other women to feel stuck or overwhelmed with this same problem because you have the tools to help them. And the main thing is help them understand, you are worthy and your mental health is something that is important to take care of. That's it.
Rena, real quick, I just want to make sure it's super clear and Stephanie can walk away with this. What is the problem? I think we're still stuck there. Like, what is the problem? Is it that, Stephanie, try one more time. What's the problem?
The problem is that women, specifically Christian women, I think we're going back to the problem of people not realizing that they're people pleasers, in a sense. They don't advocate for their mental health, whether it's because of shame within the church or the stigma that mental health carries. The problem is that they're not speaking up for what it is that they need. And it's
So then is it only mental health, or is it they don't speak up for themselves? Because if we open up the bag of like women don't feel, because I mean, look at how a lot of, especially like I grew up in a Baptist church, right? And so the women couldn't be deacons back when I went to school. No, I went to church, whatever. They obviously changed this, but the women were never the pastor. It was always the pastor and the pastor's wife, right? So women weren't whatever. So because of that, though, those women never really spoke up. So are we talking that you feel that women that grew up in the Baptist church, women that grew up in the church don't speak for themselves, and that's the problem we solve? Or are we solving, I'm a woman in church that I feel like I'm struggling with depression, I don't know where to go? Those are two different problems.
I think I'm solving the second one, is
Yeah,
what I
that's
mean.
what I understood.
Okay, so the problem is I feel like I may be struggling with mental health and I don't know where to turn to.
Can I ask a question, Raylan?
Anthony, of
Mind
course,
if I jump in?
because you weren't.
So, Stephanie, are you saying because of the fact that sometimes in a lot of churches, frankly, the stigma would be attached to Jesus should fix it all? So we don't need to talk about mental health. We don't need to talk about therapy. We don't need to talk about unpacking these things, because all we need to do is pray, listen to the right sermons. So you're providing you're advocating for the fact that no, there is another method. There is a way to reach out. You can get help. You don't have to just hope the church and prayer can fix everything. So you're speaking out on their behalf. And once they see your hand raised, they come to you and they can find the help they need. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, and then from there, learn how to navigate the system, because,
Hold on, Stephanie, hold on.
Yeah.
I know you're trying to go to solution. See how like we're going
Right.
to solution? We still don't know the problem. Let's back up.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now we got closer. So because of the church, because of how we grow up, we may think that God is the only. So how do we say this that don't piss off people when we go to church? Okay. So then here's the thing, right? Did you know that God won't solve your mental health issues? He will only give you the tools to solve it yourself. Something around those lines. So that way, again, we're not, again, pissing off the church. So the problem is it's a lack of belief. It's a lack of opportunity. It's a lack of exposure. Did you know you could do this too?
Yeah.
And still have your faith.
And still have your faith. Yes.
And I feel that it comes, that when what Stephanie was explaining is that she wants to help this woman because there's opportunity, but she wants to help this woman stop feeling overwhelmed with sharing who they are. That's what she wants to do. And I can see it because she has her background story, but the fact of being overwhelmed is what stops you from moving forward.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, I'm
Stephanie?
with you, but I'm just trying to condense it because the problem is
Exactly.
when we say words like overwhelm, it's like I'm fucking overwhelmed too. Can you help me, Stephanie? Well, no, not in this context, right? So it's like we got to get super specific of what is, because here's the reason why, right? When we get super specific on the problem, that means it's easily identifiable. And if they're easily identifiable, that means that we can easily have access to the people that need us most. That makes sense. So
Yeah.
Stephanie, we gotta, I think maybe like talk to Karina offline a little bit more about this, because I think this needs a little bit of unpacking. Now, of course, definitely we've been talking for like a year. You can DM me too, but I think we got to get this a little bit more clear. And I think Karina, you understand probably better than me where her head's at. I'm still lost. I'm like, well, what the fuck is the problem? By the way, I should have put a disclaimer. I swear a lot, but whatever. It's
I love
Saturday.
that you didn't start swearing until we started talking about the church thing. There might be something.
Isn't that funny?
There might be something to unpack around that, but we can do that offline as well.
I bring up my
Baptist upbringing.
I bring up being in the Baptist church. And I start swearing. That's Anthony. You're on to something. Karina. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I want to give opportunity to
Sorry.
Connor. How are you?
Very well, thanks, Karina. How are you?
Good, thank you. I want to ask you, so how do you feel about these questions? Did it give you clarity? Did it give you something to think about? Let me know a little bit about that.
I feel like it let me look at myself and what I do from a different perspective, almost, because truly I've never really asked myself who I am or specifically what I do. I just sort of knew, if that makes sense. So that basically helped me look at this in a different perspective. And I feel like it's helped me uncover one or two more things, if that makes sense.
No, that's very important. And also we go back to that some people say, yes, I understand what I do. I understand my purpose. In your case, I have known you because of Raylan. You help the entrepreneurs with your YouTube channel, so you can edit, so you can help them simplify their life. And I understand that through what Raylan has explained to us. But also is that I know you get it and I know what you do, but we want to know if other people understand it, if other people have come to you, why? What is the reason that people are going to come to you? Because there's many people that offer your services, which are amazing. We want to know how you make a difference and why I need to choose you to help me with my YouTube channel.
Because I've identified two main areas personally. So I feel like there's a lot of coaches on Instagram. There's a lot of very, very good coaches on Instagram. And there's a lot of coaches who aren't necessarily in the same field. So one might think there might be an issue of, okay, how do I stand out here? Not many coaches also alongside Instagram have a thriving YouTube channel dedicated to their niche and another means of lead generation, another means to nurture their leads, and another means of standing out, so to speak. And to me, that's a perfect solution. And I think I came across that because of my background, my digital marketing background, and part of my responsibilities in the past was to manage a number of YouTube channels. And I thought to myself, not a lot of companies are utilizing this, or entrepreneurs are utilizing this. And it's either heavily misunderstood or heavily underutilized. So I thought this needs to be taken advantage of more, and more people need to realize this, essentially. I don't know if you feel the same way.
I feel the same way. And you're right, is that some entrepreneurs, when they go into YouTube, they're like, yes, I know, it's just posting a video, looking for a title and whatever. But it's so much deeper. I think YouTube is one of the social media platforms more complicated and has the most opportunities of all. So that solution that you're offering, I
completely agree. I think, and I don't know, I'd like to know everyone else's thoughts here. I think it's heavily misunderstood. People think it's all about ad revenue. It's all about getting as many subscribers as you can. It's all about getting as many views as you can. It's not. It's really, really not. I mean, don't get me wrong, getting monetized is going to be a nice thing, but YouTube is a long game. It's a search engine. It's not a creative platform. It's a search engine. It's an opportunity for you to keep on planting seeds and wait for the 2 to 3 year period where they're going to grow. Because I said this on a podcast yesterday, if I post a video out and I see maybe 2 or 3 days later, it's at 5 views, 6 views, I do not care. I care absolutely not at all. Well, the reason why, because it takes roughly 2 to 3 years for a YouTube video to grow and get its good potential kicking in. And over that time, it's going to generate leads for you for the links that you put in. It's going to generate traffic. It's going to generate interest in you as a coach, as an entrepreneur, as a person, your personal brand. And the more videos you post, basically the more seeds you're planting over time, that's going to grow, that's going to flourish. You're going to get to that point where you are one of the most established leaders, thought leaders in your field.
Connor, we've already been over this. So the thing is, it's funny because you keep saying, stop looking at the views. The views aren't the problem.
Yeah.
But because you keep bringing the problem up, it brings it back to their head.
Yeah.
So we need to give them a new solution. So one, the problem you actually solve is time. You give me Connor, for those that don't know, Connor does my YouTube. By Connor, how long does it take you to do one video for me?
About 3 hours, give or take.
Okay. If it takes you 3 hours, it would take me 6. That's 6 hours that I get back per week. What can I do with that 6 hours? I can make money.
Yeah.
I can talk to clients. You give me time back. And by the way, because you give me that time back, it actually it's an investment for me. Second thing is this. We have to approach it from a different angle. So the different angle is everyone else is talking about views and all that shit. Okay. We're going to talk about what if you could use your YouTube to increase the speed in which leads buy from you. I'm going to teach you how. So the cool thing is now we have the opportunity to, one, get them in the agency, okay? Because that's the direction we're going. We're going to hire people, all that stuff, okay? But we can get them in the agency, or guess what? Now that opens you up to coaching, because now you're not going to, I don't want you to be, this is my desire for you, take it if you want it. I don't want to get you caught up and I'm going to teach you how to edit videos. There's not a lot of money there. We can charge for that, but okay. No. I want you to be in, I'm not only going to teach you how to edit videos, but I'm going to teach you how to increase your revenue in your business using YouTube. Ooh, now we're talking like a $5,000 to $10,000 program.
Yeah, we went over that. Yeah.
You're talking about the
so then
SEO.
why in the hell do I have to repeat myself, Connor? Stop with the damn views. If we went over it, write it down and start talking about it. So this is why, like, when we go over stuff, you need to, this is why, Connor, I'm glad you're on Clubhouse, because now I want you to start practicing doing it. The reason, honestly, you keep asking me about it and you keep forgetting is because we gotta talk it out. Like, I want you to embody that offer. I want you to embody that problem you solve. I solve time and I help you use YouTube to increase your revenue in your business. That's it. No more views, subscriptions. Don't even address it in your YouTube or in your YouTube and your Instagram. Cool?
Yeah, it's true.
Sure.
Because it's so true what Raylan says. Because remember, as a YouTuber, views are like, we feel that it's everything because we want to get monetized. And you have to debunk that, because it's not only about the views, it's about understanding that YouTube is Google, is SEO, is the biggest search engine. Like Raylan said, it's time. You're helping, because many entrepreneurs want to be on YouTube, but they don't know how to edit. They don't know how to implement. They take hours and they lose time. So the more you help them there, the more you're going to save time and they're going to execute on other areas of their business.
Very true.
Question, Raylan.
So,
Who do you do what for? Like, I teach sales skills entrepreneurs. So Connor, you create YouTube videos for people, or I'm not sure if I understand.
I help online coaches transition over to YouTube. So yes, I basically help coaches build a YouTube channel and generate revenue and leads from YouTube.
Ah, there we go. That was good. Write that down.
All right, we got 5 minutes.
Who's next? Who's next? Okay, I think Nicole. Nicole Stewart.
Nicole's gonna kill us if we're late, so we gotta.
Sorry. I'm trying to answer.
It's not your fault. It's mine. Anytime we're not on time, we know whose fault it is. It's not yours. It's mine.
Hey, Nicole, how are you?
Hey, hi, how are you?
Good. So tell me a little bit about you.
Oh God. So what I do, I own a company called My Legacy Prep. We're an online mentoring program for families with children ages 10 to 16.
Sorry, Nicole, I don't hear you. Can you speak a little bit louder?
Pull up. Can you hear me better now?
Yes, a little bit better.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so my company's called My Legacy Prep. We're an online mentoring program for families with children ages 10 to 18. What you said about actually how I felt about answering the questions was really crazy, because I feel like the questions are they go really deep, and for me, I'm not really sure at this point. I consider myself to be a mompreneur that loves, as far as who I am, a mompreneur that loves God, my children, and wine, in that order. I don't know how that'll be received. So, I'm really, that's who I am.
I love that. Like, that's
I love that too.
Bio.
Hey,
Really?
I'm sorry to interrupt. Raylan, can I say something?
Why do you guys act like I beat you? Go ahead.
No, I just so the one thing I would say that would be received very well. Like, and I think that your apprehension, and I've been going through this with Tim, who's also in the group, really helped me with my brand, and Karina's is awesome experience, but that's your hurdle. Like, people are going to love that. Their parents, they obviously, I mean, they're cracking open a bottle of wine probably more than anybody, right? So so it's like, when you are authentically you, they're going to be like, oh, this lady values what I value, and she can have a drink.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
So like
that's it.
that realness is important. So yeah, I encourage that. That's how they're going to take it. They're going to love it.
And yes, Nicole, these questions were for you to not be easy to answer. They're for you to think through what is it you can offer. And also remember what I said in the presentation is your story is yours. You have your own experiences, you have your own values, and that is where everything starts. That's where how you identify the problem that you can offer a solution for. It starts with you because you were this person that you want to help now.
Mhm.
Okay, so we have to focus on this and on go in. They're not meant to be easy, as I said. They're not meant for 10 minutes to solve it and to know it. It's for you to get a perspective of what you need to, how to need to move forward. Okay, sorry that I cannot stay with you. I have to jump because we have like 5 minutes, I think. So let's go with Jess.
Karina's in the or not Karina. Nicole's in the program, so you're gonna see her like
okay, great.
next week.
Jesse, how are you? How are you?
Sorry, I had to unmute. I'm good. Thank you very much. I am working out a lot of this, so I really appreciate your time today, Karina. So I have a couple of rough drafts. It's really hard being this talented because I can do so many things. Definitely don't have a self-confidence issue.
Okay.
That's actually just to cover up. Okay, so the first one I have is I help organizations scale by creating leadership structures that increase retention and productivity. That could be one. So.
Okay, can you repeat it again?
Yeah.
You help?
I help, which I know help is a bad word according to Eric Reed the other day, but we're going to go with it right now. I help organizations scale by creating leadership structures that increase retention and productivity. Raylan, don't make ugly face, man.
Okay, I understand it, but we remember when we talked about simplicity?
Yeah.
When you say it, I'm like, what? I need to hear it again. So you don't want your audience to say, what is that you mean? So you want your audience to say, oh, tell me more about this.
Yeah.
Because right now when you're saying it, I'm like, I need to hear it twice or 3 times at least. To really go deep on it. So remember, simplicity is key. Simplicity is where it's going to help you understand what is a problem, how to solve it. Okay, I understand it, but think it through of how can it be even more simple for anyone that is watching you on Instagram, Clubhouse, YouTube, whichever is a platform of your preference and you're using right now, that is going to understand and say, okay, I get it.
Different. Because if I go to LinkedIn, I can find 100 people that have that same bio.
Exactly.
Right.
And your story is what makes you different because you are unique in your own way. So let's think all that through. I would love to continue, but I know we are now out of time. We have 1 more minute. Okay. So Jesse, I remember.
Go with Vicky. And then because
Vicky. Oh, okay, great. I thought okay. Vicky, how are you?
Hi there. I'm good. Sorry, I'm in the car, but
no worries.
So I work alongside, oh, sorry.
No, I'm hearing you.
I work alongside entrepreneurs and individual contributors to help build or refine processes that build pipeline and get to revenue.
Okay, so you help entrepreneurs, again, let's repeat it again. You help entrepreneurs.
And individual contributors, and I know I should be doing 2 things, to either implement or refine their processes and then implement them and build pipeline and get to revenue.
Okay, so we're almost in the same thing that I was telling Jesse is like, I understand it, but I need to hear it twice. Yeah. And remember in personal branding, when you want to offer too many things at the same time, people are confused. Yep. People are like, okay, I kind of get that you want to help this and this, but actually what is that you do? So you don't want people to feel confused about what you offer. You want to offer clarity. You want to offer clarity and purpose because that's how you don't allow people to be confused. Because when people are confused, you're just like swipe and they just move on. You're like, I don't have time for this.
Do I just help people build pipeline to get to revenue goals? Is
that
too simple?
The thing is that how do you come up to this one problem? How do you come up? What's your story? Tell me a little bit about that before we go into that one sentence.
Perfect. So I've been in sales forever. And as a woman in sales that has been around for quite a while, I've gone through a lot of things that fortunately women aren't having to experience at this point in time. Oh, I'm a big girl power girl, by the way. And I don't want other people to have to go through what I went through to be successful in sales. I want to show them that there are people that they can get the help they need and that they can get there much quicker and with much less stress and with some joy.
So you actually help them with time. So to save time, right? That's what I'm hearing. To save time to understand how to do sales. I'm just trying to understand what you're saying.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, yes, that's one way of looking at it. Yes, and the way that I hadn't exactly looked at it before. I look at it more of the you don't know what you don't know. So in other words, there's so many tips and pieces of information that can be shared, like looking at your process and understanding that you're just doing what you've been told to do. What you haven't done is actually go through the process and figure out if these things are true.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yes, I understand that. It's that you want to help these entrepreneurs save time by understanding more about sales and how to make actual conversions. Is that true?
Yes. Yes.
Perfect. So we're getting deeper into that and getting a clear perspective of what you do. So what you can do is that because I think this is the last minute that we have. Anything else, you can DM me and we can connect and we can go deeper into this.
I'm trying.
So thank you so much, Vicky, for being here. But I think this is the last minute we have.
First of all, round of applause to Karina. Amazing job. Seriously, amazing job. We could probably do this forever. But again, if you could see the look I'm getting from Kayla right now, we're 4 minutes late. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do next, real quick. Vicky, if we're working with women, here's the roadblock that a lot of women have with sales. Historically, this is going to be a very stereotypical thing I'm going to say, but I mean, it's true. Most women I've worked with when it comes to sales struggle with this one common problem. They had historically put others in front of themselves. That is like kind of every single coach, entrepreneur, woman that I've worked with historically puts others in front of themselves, especially if we're going to work with moms. They put their kids in front of themselves. They put everyone around their lives in front of themselves. So knowing that, guess what happens when they're in the sales interaction? They put the client first. Whatever the needs of that person is first, they put themselves last, and then they wonder why they're not actually increasing their revenue or they're not actually getting sales because everyone comes before them. Something to keep in mind when you're working through that messaging, because if you can tap into that, every single like woman entrepreneur is going to be like, oh my God, she's my person. She's my person that's going to stand up for me when I can't do it for myself. Because most of the people that or a lot of female coaches I've worked with or female entrepreneurs I've worked with, honestly, the only thing I do for them is to go, I'm really afraid to charge this. And I go, get your head out of your ass, charge it. And they do it and they make money. That's literally my whole job for them. So anyway, something to think about. Okay. So once again, amazing job, Karina. All right. See you guys in 10 minutes.
Thank you.